Hi everyone, I made this little concertina sketchbook recently all about the seaside. I made the cover using an old map of the sea so that it could be removed to reveal all the pages together. A few of you have been asking how I made it, so here's a little video to show you. Firstly, choose some thickish paper for the cover. It can be anything you like, but I love working with maps and always have offcuts from other projects. I usually try to match the theme of the sketchbook with the cover. Next, you'll need to choose the type of paper that will be used. I used a good quality cartridge paper just so that I could use coloured pencils on it. And I scored the paper before cutting so the concertina folds could easily be made and they'd all be the same. And then I cut the paper into strips. The strips I cut were 4.5 centimetres by 22.5 centimetres, so I could make my individual pages 4.5 by 4.5 centimetres. And just pop those aside for later. And next I got on to making the cover, so I measured and cut a rectangle from a map which was 9 by 18 centimetres, then folded from bottom to top edge and made small creases at either end. You don't need to crease fully. Open the paper out again, pattern side down and then fold along each edge up to a couple of millimetres below the middle, if that makes sense. Grab your pre-cut strips of paper and then concertina fold along the creases that you made earlier. Next, attach them together using some paper glue. I used a Pritt stick just to make one long concertina strip. I overlapped the back and front pages to do this, and I ended up with 20 pages altogether. You'll need to keep a spare page either end of your concertina to slip in and out of the cover, and you can cut any odd pages you don't need off. I think maybe I did that on one end. So once the pages are all folded, just pop them into your cover and fold and make a mark with your cover over the last page and the first page, just so that you've got a bit of a guide. And then you can trim off a little piece of the front and back cover so the pages slip in more easily. You can leave the book as it is or make a closure to keep the pages together, and this can be as simple as just some string wrapped around and tied. Or if you want to do something a bit fancier, I'll show you a simple closure that you don't need any special materials or equipment for. You'll just need some thread in a colour of your choice. I'm using green. Wrap it around your book a few times and cut it to get the correct length. Remove the pages from the cover and lay it flat while you make 2 holes in a couple of millimetres apart on the spine with a bradawl or a needle, and then make 2 more holes on the edges of the front and back covers in the middle. Put your thread onto a needle and starting on the outside back of the cover, thread the needle through the first hole and then back through the first hole on the spine. Thread back through the next hole on the spine. I'll let you all catch up. And now thread back through the second hole on the spine and then and then out through the last hole on the front cover and remove the needle. Adjust the thread so there's enough length coming out of the book at the front and the back, and these 2 threads can be tied together. Finally, insert the pages back into the cover and use the thread to tie the book nice and neatly. And then it's all done. Now to start working on the pages. If you've made it this far, well done, and thanks so much for watching. I'll be filling this little sketchbook with some things I've spotted on my woodland walks, which I'm sure I'll be sharing with you at some point in the future.